Thank you very much, Chairman Feingold and Chairman Conyers, and other members here of the committee, and thank you for the opportunity to testify. As mentioned, I'm from Alaska and the newly elected senator from Alaska. I'm honored to be an original co-sponsor of Senate Joint Resolution 7 along with Senator McCain. When Senator Feingold proposed the constitutional amendment requiring the states hold special elections to fill vacancies, I was happy to agree to co-sponsor. I did so for two reasons. The first is my constituents feel very strongly about this issue. Just 5 years ago, they voted overwhelmingly to require a special election in the case of a vacancy of Alaska's U.S. Senate seats. That vote, in response to a citizen-run initiative, was nearly 56% in favor. Now, in Alaska, the politics of Alaska, that would be considered a landslide. Just in my own election, and mayor of Anchorage in 2003, I won my election by 18 votes, a threshold necessarily to avoid a runoff election. So, again, 56% is considered a landslide. And I won the Senate seat by a little over 1% out of 327,000 votes. The second reason I support this amendment is more of a personal one. Some members of this subcommittee may know that my father served in the United States Congress and was Alaska's at-large seat. In October of 1972, Congressman Nick Begich was campaigning for re-election in his second term in the House. His small Cessna 310 left Anchorage on a stormy night, bound for our state capital in Juneau. It never arrived. Also lost was House Majority Leader Hale Boggs of Louisiana, who was campaigning for my father. My father's aide and pilot also were perished in his plane loss. I was 10 years old. My mother was left with 5 brothers, along with me, and 5 brothers and sisters. Besides the terrible loss to our family, I recall the tragedy today for what happened next. As the largest aviation search in Alaska's history up to this time continued, the already scheduled state general election was held 3 weeks later. Despite the disappearance, Congressman Begich was elected with better than 56% of the vote. In late December, my father was officially declared deceased, and a special election was set for March 1973. 2 political parties nominated their candidates. An abbreviated campaign took place, and Don Young was elected Alaska's sole United States Congressman, a seat he has held since then. Throughout this ordeal, Alaskans were officially without representation in the House of Representatives. But my recollection and my review of news reports from that era show no outcry for the appointment of a new congressman. Alaskans then, like Alaskans now, feel strongly that elected representatives in the federal government should be exactly that, elected. The residents of my state believe that they alone have the power to select those representing them in the United States House and Senate. I know a number of arguments will be advanced in opposition to this proposed amendment to our Constitution, that a special election will cost much more, or that state citizens will be disenfranchised during the vacancy. When balancing the relatively modest cost of a special election against one of those most fundamental principles of our democracy, the election of representatives of the people, I believe the expense is justified. And as a recent example has shown us, with drawn-out controversial appointment scenarios, I believe the time required to mount a special election is far more preferable to a gubernatorial selection. Mr. Chairman, to me and my constituents, this issue is a simple one. The United States Senate should be elected by the voters of their states. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify and give my personal story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. It's very good to have you before this hearing.